I extend a very warm welcome to this historic city of Hyderabad, which Dr. Rao has so beautifully described about this city. You require about $60 trillion in the next 17 years for maintaining the growth momentum of different nations. Coming to India, Planning Commission estimated that we are in which period of plan? Anybody? 12th plan, okay, is over. 13th plan, we are arriving at. In the current plan, we require $1 trillion, again 62 lakh crores for us to sustain our development. At one point of time, we were growing at 8 to 8.5%, but unfortunately, because of the mess that we created deliberately in this country, okay, this year we are slipping down to below 5% growth rate. Okay. So to maintain the normal growth rate, you require $1 trillion, again 62 lakh crore rupees in this plan period. Okay. Out of which 50%, that is 31 lakh crore, shall come from, because taxpayers can't pay this kind of amounts actually to raise these resources. 50% of it, that is 31 lakh crore rupees, shall come from the private sector through what is called a new instrumentation. It was there earlier, again a rediscovery, PPP, Public-Private Partnership. How many of you have heard of this concept, Public-Private Partnership? My dear students, many of you have heard of it. I will slowly go deeper into it during the course of this. PPP route. Okay. Eminent personality Dr. Sridharan, who was my guru, who started a lot of projects in this country, we required the recommendation of the Union Communications Minister at the time just to get a telephone connection. That was the situation in this country. Okay. Today, imagine the kind of, I keep mentioning India's experience in international, with all the chaos which you see on Indian roads, with all the problems you face. India, people say that it's a functioning anarchy. Okay, anything happens in this country, but still it gets, somehow things get performed. Okay, with all that, Indians are capable of doing extreme things. Okay, once you take to reforms, once you take to a different approach, the way we master it, like no other people in the world have mastered it. Telecom revolution, I give you the example. We used to be, as I mentioned actually, the so-called black box called telephone those days, okay, with a long waiting period. We used to be one of the world's lowest teledensities in the world, okay. We used to be the world's highest tariffs in the world. Actually, our tariff, our telephone tariff used to be highest in the world. Today, in 20 years, just 2 decades of reforms, today we are the world's lowest tariffs. Actually, you know that. We have done extremely well in national highways, okay. As he's talking about outer ring road, you see, when I went abroad, I used to wonder actually when would India get this kind of roads. Today, if you see outer ring road, actually very few countries in the world have that kind of roads, which we have in Hyderabad, that outer ring road. Airports, same thing. Airports used to be worse than railway stations, okay. But today, have a look at Hyderabad International Airport, have a look at T3 in Delhi, have a look at T2 just being inaugurated tomorrow. On 10th, it's being inaugurated by the Prime Minister. Our own GVK, Mr. GVK Reddy has built that. GMR is building most of these airports, etc. Okay. See the kind of change that has taken place in this country in just 1 or 2 decades of reforms. This is the capability of Indians, you have to do it. Okay, when this was happening, unfortunately, my own department, railways, somehow has not embraced these reforms. Okay, I've got out of the railways. I said, actually, let me do something different. Actually. I came to the power sector initially, introduced a lot of reforms. Okay, from power sector, I moved to municipal corporation. I built some of these modern flyovers, which you see at the time, a lot of criticism was there. But today, see how beautiful they are. Actually, and all these things. I built those things. Then I took up this challenge. The challenge here is that actually there are 200 mass transit systems in the world. Out of the 200 mass transit systems, less than half a dozen are built with private sector investment. Okay, majority of them are built with government money. With the money means government money means the money belonging to you and I, where all the taxpayers actually say built. Okay, in many of these things actually only 4 out of these 200 mass transit systems, which they are called rapid transit systems, are making money. They are Singapore, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Taipei. The rest are all incurring heavy losses. They are being subsidized by governments. Then, when I wanted to do this project as a PPP project, encouraged by Dr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, the original reformers actually, when our Prime Minister was the Finance Minister of the country under late P.V. Narasimha Rao, when we reformed, opened up this country for private sector investments on a large scale, actually, in 1991. Dr. Manmohan Singh was the finance minister. Okay, Dr. Monty Singh Ahluwalia was the finance secretary, and a few more senior officers. Encouraged by them today Monty Singh Ahluwalia is what? Deputy Chairman, Planning Commission. Okay, encouraged by him, actually I started. Then I said, sir, nowhere in the world actually a project of this magnitude, a huge mass transit system, is done as a PPP project. The entire spectrum of PPP, it's called design, build, finance, operate and transfer. The entire spectrum of PPP nobody has done in the world. Okay, such a huge project. Documents are not available, so we had to create the documents. Okay. They said we'll give you the support. So I worked with one Mr. Gajendra Haldia, a retired IAS officer, who is now with Advisor Planning Commission. We prepared the concession agreement. It's a basically legal document. He had tremendous vision, and Mr. Harnarayan was another one who was the chief secretary, retired, later became IRDA chairman. He's here. So with these two gentlemen, under their guidance, we prepared the concession agreement. That's a legal document binding between, in a PPP, there's a government authority, there's a private sector concessionaire who is investing the money. Okay, you have to achieve a balance between government subjective. What is government subjective? It's supposed to be public good. Okay, that is interest of the majority of the people. A private sector's investment. Why is private sector investing money? It's not for charity. It has to make profit. So a balance between public good and reasonable profit actually. And there are also lenders, the bankers actually. So reconciling these interests. So you should also know another subject is what? Law. Legally also you should know. In law, a donkey can be a horse and a horse can be a donkey just by capitalizing a word actually. See, capital D, donkey, I can make it a horse. Okay, this is a legal language way of writing things actually. So you should have exposure to all these things. So we prepared the documents actually, learning, because these were the gentlemen actually who, Mr. Haldia was the one who rewrote Indian Electricity Act. He was the one from earlier there used to be FEMA, okay, foreign exchange ban. FERA used to be there. FERA, those was horrible. Even to get $100, it used to be extremely difficult actually to get $100 to go abroad those days. Okay, he was the one who changed from FERA to FEMA, etc. Lots of things. He was the one. So we did that. Another thing, the manual of specifications and standards, I consider this to be a contribution of India to the world actually. See, what I have done is, all my bosses, they were all my bosses actually, they were eminent civil engineers, mechanical engineers, signaling engineers, telecommunications engineers, electronics engineers, okay, different disciplines, who later became general managers of railways, chairman railway board, members in the railway board, etc. All this, they were all my bosses. 10 of them brilliant, extremely brilliant people, I gathered them, and my first task was to de-school my old bosses actually, because they are so used to designing everything themselves actually. What is called input-oriented specifications. We completely converted input-oriented specifications to output-oriented performance criteria. Okay, you can't teach Bombardier, Alstom or Siemens, etc. how to do a metro rail project. How to, for example, a simple example I'll give you. Air conditioning, they know much better than all of us. Okay, you only say that my ambient temperature in Hyderabad, the lowest is so much, highest is so much. My throughput per hour has to be so much. Actually, with this, you please design a comfortable air conditioning. This is called performance-oriented. Okay. Output-oriented specifications rather than input-oriented design criteria approach. So once they appreciated this approach, initially they were completely aghast and saying, my God, you're a railway officer, you know the complications of railway engineering, and then you're planning to trust private sector. My counter question to them is that actually when we are able to trust private sector with something in the air, actually by then already airways had got privatized. Do you think that actually the railway engineering is more complicated than aerospace? These airways, this is not that complicated. Then they appreciate it slowly, etc. Then beautiful document, manual of specifications and standards. It's a completely technology neutral document. Earlier, this so-called mass transit system, metro rail projects used to be an oligopoly of a few firms, European firms actually. It used to be Bombardier, Siemens, Alstom, okay, CAF, and then one or two Japanese firms like Mitsubishi, etc. They used to dominate actually. So there used to be a lot of secrecy in these things. There used to be a lot of little tweaking of a particular specification, so they could manipulate and get millions of dollars. Actually. We have demystified the whole thing. Actually, I put it in the public domain. Actually. So, like this, we have done number of other things. And of course, I'm a finance guy. Basically, the financial entire structuring, we have done it with a lot of experts. So, we have done this. Then, the experts in the field, including my guru, of course, I have a lot of regard, a lot of respect for him. Actually, he has done wonderful. He proved India, okay, Dr. Sridharan, proved that Indians are capable of producing a first-class mass transit system, okay, in a short period. At the time of 7.5 years, actually, he took the first 65 kilometers in Delhi. With that, India proved to the world that actually we are capable of doing this kind of a project. You go and see actually how beautifully he had done that project, actually. But the difference I had with him was that actually he believed that the whole thing will have to be done as a government project. I said, sir, no, government doesn't have this kind of money. We would like to do it as a PPP project. Then several experts, they said, nobody has done it in the world. How will you do it? I said, just because the fact that nobody has done it in the world. Before Yuri Gagarin, had any human being entered space? Okay. Before Neil Armstrong, had any human being set foot on moon? Does it mean that human civilization stops there? There is no progress. The history of human progress is a history of calculated risk. You have to take calculated risk. I am taking the first step actually, so we will go ahead with this. Unfortunately, the first thing failed. Okay, many of you would have heard of the Meta's failure in this country. Unfortunately, there is a corporate governance failure in this country. As a result, the image of the country suffered, the image of Hyderabad suffered, the image of, unfortunately, our project suffered, including personal attack on me. I did not bother about all this. This is a lecture I normally give in IIMs, IITs, etc. Failure management is the most important thing. When you are thinking of higher level performance, as long as your bar is normal, a limited bar, there is no issue. If you keep on increasing the bar levels, actually higher and higher goals. Be prepared for failure. Be prepared for being ridiculed. Actually, people will ridicule you, people will crack jokes on you, etc. Don't be bothered about these things. Okay? These things do happen because to follow the rut is very easy, okay? But if you want to be a backbreaker, okay, you have got to have guts. This is the topic I normally talk about. Hyderabad Metro, a saga of grit, guts and gumption, okay? We want to prove to the world that we are capable of delivering an infrastructure project in a completely different scenario, completely with different parameters. This is what we are trying to do that. Then again, we went in for rebidding with, of course, tweaking a few things, learned certain lessons from the mistakes we had actually. So then today you have seen, L&T has come. Beautiful project is being delivered. People who wrote off this project, this is again, you have to learn skills in different aspects. So far as the challenges, they asked me to talk about the challenges of Hyderabad Metro Rail project. Actually, see, there's not that much of time. The challenges, engineering challenges, I would say that is only about 30 to 35%. Okay. Non-engineering challenges of implementing this project is 65 to 70%. Engineers, all of us, shall learn how to communicate with people in the language which they understood. So we went to the extent, okay, I wrote poetry in Telugu, actually, folk songs, actually, to explaining the philosophy of this entire project. What is energy consumption? What is energy saving? What is this? What is the entire thing in ordinary say? And like this, number of things we did. Okay, you shall live by example. Actually, see, if I sit at home, okay, and I expect my people to work night in, day in and day out, they will not work. I have to have strict personal discipline. Okay, and then only I say, people say that he is mad. Actually, he is there on Sunday, he is there all the holidays, all the time he is in office, okay, or in inspection at the site. I have to demonstrate. Then only my people will follow. So like this, there are a number of things actually we tried to overcome these things. So most of the challenges we had were actually non-engineering challenges. Okay? People will try to provoke you. There was a day, I don't know how many of you have seen actually the come papers. In one of the seminars, one of the interactive sessions actually, when I was trying to explain, one particular group came and tried to physically attack me. Okay? Police were waiting. I said, no, don't cross this. Be there. Had I allowed police to come that day to my rescue, actually that would have finished the project. Okay. No, I said, it doesn't matter. At the most, they would hit me. It doesn't matter. Okay. I was tackling them. Okay, whatever you want, I'll answer. Okay. So there were about 200 times every weekend I was addressing some Telugu channel or the other actually, explaining. Anybody can ask any question, I'll give the reply, answer. So like this, there are a number of things actually you have to learn, you have to master different strategies, different skill sets actually to do projects, actually to deliver projects in this country. It's a very tough environment. It's not going to be easy. Coming to engineering challenges, imagine 72 kilometers, 3 corridors in the densest parts of Hyderabad city. Okay, we have 8 railway crossings. Some of them are already elevated crossings, at double elevation we have to cross. There are 12 flyovers, all of them are elevated flyovers, okay. Over that again a double elevation we have to do. There are 80 junctions, 80 intersections, out of which 28 intersections are having an obligatory span of more than 34 meters. It's like building 80 flyovers. This was there. Hardly any space. In fact, one challenge I gave, see, let us occupy as limited area as possible. Okay, we are occupying about 8 meters in the central part of the road. So, as a strategy, what I did was, initially when everybody was getting worried about this project, deliberately I started the project from the outskirts. You would have seen from Miapur this side, from LB Nagar one side, from Uppal another side. In fact, when I came to Miapur, Kokatpalli and all these junctions 2 years ago, I was getting scared actually. How would I do this project actually? 3 times the signal was changing actually for me to cross the intersection. I said, how do I do this project? Then we took a bold decision. I sanctioned 50 crore actually. First widened the roads like anything. Today, people are saying that, sir, thanks to you, because of you, we are able to move much better, much faster. Okay, it completely transformed this Kukatpalli area, etc. People say that actually, see, people remember you in villages now. Actually, see, this is the thing. Actually, I am extremely happy. This is what gives us pleasure. Actually, nothing else gives you more satisfaction. You may get more money in private sector. Definitely, all of you should aim at high salaries. But remember one thing. We are the privileged sections of this country. We have to give something back to the society. Okay, all of us shall contribute something for the development of this country. This gives us satisfaction. So, this kind of problems, we have any number of issues. So, first thing what we decided is that actually let us try to convert this project as much as possible to precast system. So, 90% of our project we have converted into precast. Other than the pier, the foundation and the pier, okay, up to pier top level. The rest are all precast. We have established 2 casting yards to the depots which we are building at Miapur, nearest 4 kilometers. I will arrange, okay, or Uppal. Please see, world class facility we are creating. Actually, it's none other than world class. Actually, the kind of standards which we are following in these things. Actually, the kind of precast yards we have got, beautiful precast yards we have established. India's largest precast yard. In fact, it is Asia's second largest precast yard we have established. Okay, we have converted everything to precast elements. Actually, pre-stressing method we are following. The entire viaduct is PSC segmental technology. We have gone for. We will take the inputs. Experts are here. Okay. So this is how actually we have achieved, solve the thing, and of course latest machinery. See whether it is places, okay, and the launching girders you would have seen already. We have manufactured 13 launching girders. In the final phase, we are going to have another 7. So 20 launching girders are going to be the different seat. So entire thing actually night time. Okay, the precast segments which are precast at the yard, it will be brought, and night time it will be done. So that's how actually we are trying to address this. In fact, I gave another challenge. Why don't we further reduce the foundation widths? Actually, Professor V.S. Raju, who was earlier heading IIT Delhi, yes, recently come up saying that I can further reduce. Actually, he said I can reduce it up to even 3 meters. That's under examination. I have given to some other experts. I said, please examine this if it's possible. Okay. So, number of things. Another challenge I gave them is actually, I'm a poet, I'm not a civil engineer. I don't want your civil engineering, your structural stability, etc. You people are obsessed with structural engineering stability. Other than that, please go and have a look at. I took them around Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, all other cities. Okay. You want me to accept these kind of rotund, ugly structures? No way I will accept these things. I want poetry in concrete. Okay. My structures will have to be beautiful damsels dancing in moonlight. Okay. This is a famous poem actually from Telugu. I translated. I said, my structures shall be beautiful damsels dancing in moonlight. Okay. Amritam Krishnan Ratri, one Telugu poet, he wrote, I don't know how many of you have heard of him, one Tilak, he wrote this. Okay. I said, I want that kind of structures. I'm glad L&T engineers worked hard today. See the beautiful shape we got. No other city has got this kind of beautiful shape. Then the second challenge, these are elevated structures. Entire thing, one day I'll discuss actually why it's elevated, why not, to brief mention it. When compared to road systems, rail systems are 5 times energy efficient. When compared to elevated underground structures, elevated is extremely energy efficient, more than the cost factor, more than all other geographical limitations which normally you see in the newspapers. That's not the main thing. After a few centuries, Nobody should say that which idiot has designed this and spoiled actually. See, so much of energy is being consumed. In an underground system, your air conditioning, okay, your ventilation, etc. will consume a lot of energy. So I wanted to further reduce that. Completely elevated system, deliberately we have chosen this, okay, and there are problems with elevated systems. The most important things again regarding the aesthetics and the skyscape of a city, okay. An elevated station, every station will have roughly about 139 meters, about 140 meters length of a station. You have one pier in the center, one pier this side, one pier that side. It's a portal structure, okay. In a portal structure of 140 meters, it will give you a tunnel look, an ugly look. This is a criticism against the elevated mass transit system. Then I gave this challenge actually to again L&T engineers. I said, why should you have 3 portal structure? Okay. Why can't you have a cantilever structure? Okay. I want only one single pier in the center. That's it. Do what you want actually. I don't want a portal structure. I gave them this is very easy actually. You can demand as a non-engineer actually. It is the headache of the engineer actually to produce the structural solution for that. They worked hard. They came up with a beautiful solution. Today our structures are cantilever structures. It's a 20 meter. Okay. On the central piers only, there are central piers, 11 piers in the station. No, we have done away with portals. We have done away with the side piers. Okay. This 20 meter structure. Okay. Cantilever 10 meters this side, 10 meters this side. Okay. With a composite structure. Again, depending upon I have a lot of limitations actually. Some of the roads are 30 meter, 100 feet road. Some of the roads are 45 meter. Some of the roads are 60 meters. As per the RDP, I have to follow the municipal guidelines. So depending on that, these kind of things, that's a composite structure. We put the escalators, elevators, etc. side. So we have come up with this spine and wings concept. I don't know how many of you have heard of it actually. Spine and wings we have adopted. A beautiful structure is coming up. See, thick beams, etc. is very easy to design. Please go and have a look at it actually. Let our experts see how beautifully, how aesthetically we are designing. Because again, after some time actually when the society becomes more prosperous, nobody should say which idiot has designed this and spoiled my city. Okay, this is the most important thing. I want aesthetics. Okay, so our engineering structures are really beautiful. Our stations are really. Another thing again, energy consumption. So the challenge I have given to my L&T engineers is that actually reduce as much energy consumption as possible at these structures. So we have done it as completely open stations, no air conditioning, okay, well ventilated, solar panels, etc. So that minimal design. Even our braking systems are so efficiently designed that 25% of my energy will be fed back into the grid. Okay, so this is how we are trying to reduce energy as much as possible, energy consumption. These are all the things. There will be financial savings. More than the financial savings, I am bothered about actually say our contribution ultimately to the mankind at a larger level. This is how we are trying to do different things. And the most important thing, one presentation I made, I am not building a metro in Hyderabad. Metro is only incidental. I am basically redesigning my city. Hyderabad city we are redesigning as a people-friendly, eco-friendly city. Okay, all metros in the world made mistakes. All metros in the world made excellent contributions. So we have gone around. We have the latecomer advantage. We have gone around the world, seen the things actually. The best features of the metros, wherever it is available, we don't have to reinvent wheel. We have taken those features. Whichever mistakes metro made a mistake, we are avoiding these mistakes. We are learning from the best of technologies, including CBTC, that is communication-based train control system, radio communication-based technology. First time in India, we are bringing to Hyderabad as a part of this. That gives me every 90 seconds, if I want, I can run a train. Okay, every 1.5 minutes, I can run a train. We are designing this as a heavy metro. And AFC systems, ticketing gates, including near-field communication with my mobile phone, I can operate the gate. That technology we are bringing to India. So we are going for the latest technologies. We are going for sophisticated facilities. Then, as I mentioned, these things are basically seen as engineering solutions. You shall always look at a project actually from a broader social, ecological perspective, etc. It's a good opportunity. We treat this project as an opportunity to redesign Hyderabad as a people. Cities unfortunately made mistakes all over the world. Cities are built for cars. You should not build city for cars. You should build cities for people. What this gentleman was talking about. Okay? You shall not build city for cars. A city is a city where children are able to enjoy. We are robbing children of their childhood unfortunately in the cities. Okay? Ask your people, most of the people, all of us have come from villages, how we used to jump on, all the time we used to be on the trees actually. Say, I would like to provide the same environment at the metro stations. Actually, we will have special facilities where children can really play like village children, how they play. Okay, not getting stuck to the TVs. So, city for children, city for women. This is another Nirbhaya commute. I conducted sessions, actually interactive sessions with women. Okay, they are so happy that somebody is thinking about their problems, etc. Okay? So, city for children, city for women, city for old people, city for disabled, etc. All these concepts we are bringing. Our stations, we are designing them. They are not as simple stations. They are going to be hubs of social activity. Okay. People should come, relax, enjoy. People should say that, children should say that, Dad, I want to go to metro station. Okay. This is how we are designing. Hyderabad Metro was selected as one of the top 100 projects, infrastructure projects. At this forum, then the CEOs of these projects have to make presentation as to what are the unique features. I made this presentation. I'm happy to share, many of you would have heard, we are selected the best engineering project of the world. So last year we were conferred the Global Engineering Project of the Year 2013 award we got. Okay. Similarly, we also got another for the structural safety and occupational health of the way we are doing it. ROSPA award we got, that is Royal Society for Prevention of Accidents. It was held in Glasgow, September. I went and received that award along with my L&T colleagues. That's the second award we got. So like that, number of awards. So the message I want to convey to my youngsters and friends, brothers and sisters, is that actually don't be afraid of taking bold decisions. Don't be afraid of failure. Okay, you may be failing in your attempt. Actually, if your goals are high, it doesn't matter. You will succeed provided you work harder and make an effort again and again. You will succeed. There's nothing like hard work, nothing like smart thinking. But it has to be out of box thinking. It has to be open-minded approach. Okay? And we shall prove to the world that India is second to none. Okay. With this message, thank you very much once again for the conference.